There is nothing called subjective truth. You have subjective fancies. You have subjective emotions. You have subjective perceptions. You have subjective feelings.
So in that case, what should be done?
Subjective truth is called imagination. Facts are higher than subjective truths. Then what is the absolute truth? The absolute truth is not about knowing the fact. The absolute truth is, and false commitment is a very, very, very dangerous thing. It is like being committed to a stupid leader. My wife and my 3 kids, that's my subjective truth. This is my world. And so what will I do? I'll rob the entire planet just to fatten them. All kinds of corruption, all kinds of misdeeds, so that I can be a good person to these 4. This is subjective truth, and it is very, very problematic. You will be good at problem solving, but you will not be good at solving yourself. That's where something else is needed, something beyond intellect. I'm calling that we pride ourselves on being great problem solvers. That's what technology is supposed to do, no? But do we even know where our problems are?
Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to Truth Without Apology, an interactive session with Acharya Prashant. To begin with, I would like to welcome the director of IIT Goa for his welcome note.
Very good evening to all of you. Let me start by welcoming sort of a senior to all of you from our very own IIT fraternity, Mr. Acharya Prashant. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and willing to interact with these few words. Once again, welcome to Acharya Prashant and look forward to a very exciting evening. Thank you for coming.
Sir, good evening, sir. I am Priyanshu Mukherjee, BTech first year. Sir, as you mentioned that everything, even including our freedom, should be based on truth, and those truths should be based on facts. But at times, even truth can be subjective. Like the truth is not often objective; it is often subjective. So in that case, what should be done?
Subjective truth is called imagination. Facts are higher than subjective truths. Subjective truth is called imagination. Okay. What's the weight? 100 grams. That's your subjective truth. What's the weight?
200.
100 to 200. So 150. Yeah. Something. All these are subjective truths. Now I'll take a weighing scale and give you the exact number, let's say 88.4 grams. That's a fact. Facts must override subjective truths. Then what is the absolute truth? The absolute truth is not about knowing the fact. The absolute truth is, why are you so interested in the weight of this towel when 4 intelligent students are sitting here to discuss stuff with you? That is absolute truth. That takes into account not just this object, but also the relationship of this subject with this object. Here is this subject, right? I am the subject. Why must I be interested in the weight of this towel? This is a trivial thing, right? 4 intelligent and inquisitive students are sitting here, and here is an audience. And look at me, such a fool. I'm wondering about the weight of this hand towel. Now, what's the difference between the direction of the subjective truth, the fact, and the absolute truth? Subjective truth looked at just this, right? When I asked you what's the weight here, you said 100, you said 150, you said something. We were talking only about the object in my hand, right? That's the direction the subjective truth takes. That is also the direction the fact takes. Fact again, you said what's the weight of this? And the weighing machine told us quite accurately what's the weight of this. Again, we were talking only of the object. But when it comes to the absolute truth, it looks not just at the object, but the relationship between the object and the subject. So the absolute truth looks at both together. And looking together, it would bounce back a question. Why are you so interested in this at this moment? I'm not saying this statement is the absolute truth. I'm just presenting to you the expanded scope of what absolute truth is like. When you look at the subject and the object and their relationship all at once, then you are approaching the absolute truth. There is nothing called subjective truth. You have subjective fancies. You have subjective emotions. You have subjective perceptions. You have subjective feelings. You cannot have subjective truths, though I understand in philosophy, right? We move to something called the post-truth age. That meant much the same as what our friend said. That there is a thing called the truth. Truth is different for different stakeholders, different observers, different experiencers. That's where you are coming from. But that is also what is the bane of our democracy. Perceptions, biased perceptions, can masquerade as subjective truth, and one has to be very cautious. Because the moment you name it as truth, even if subjective truth, you will put all your weight behind it. Because truth deserves your total submission, does it not? The moment you have said, this is my truth, you will be committed to it. And false commitment is a very, very, very dangerous thing. It is like being committed to a stupid leader. It is like casting your vote in favor of your caste. It's false commitment. It's like robbing the entire world just to fatten your little family. It's false commitment. Don't we all do that? My subjective truth is these 4 people. My wife and my 3 kids. That's my subjective truth. This is my world. And so what will I do? I'll rob the entire planet just to fatten them. All kinds of corruption, all kinds of misdeeds. So that I can be a good person to these 4. This is subjective truth, and it is very, very problematic.
Sir, another thing is that in your book, Truth Without Apology, in the chapter, You Are Not Lazy, You Are Loveless, you have mentioned the fact that the courageous mind does not solve the problem, it solves itself. So can you just elaborate how can a courageous mind solve the problems of our nation, the problems that we are facing in the world? Because this one is like really inspirational for me.
See, we all here are intellectual minds. And intellectual minds are good at problem solving. I'm in fact grateful you picked this one up in front of this audience. By default, if you are here in this hall, you will be good at problem solving. Right? That's the function of intellect. It can identify an external problem. It knows a goal towards which that problem will be solved. A problem and a solution are connected by a desire, right? Otherwise, a problem is just a situation. Think of a problem. What is a problem? It's a situation. And what do you call as a solution? That too is just a situation. But they are connected by desire. If you can change this situation to that situation as per your desire, then you declare that the problem has been brought to a solution. Situation 1, S1, S2. S1, S2, S1 you are calling as a problem and S2 you are calling as a solution. What connects the two? Your desire. When you are intellectual, then by virtue of your brain power, you are good at identifying how to take it from here to here, from S1 to S2. Then you are, right? But you will not be good at knowing whether S1 needs to be taken to S2 or to S3 or to S4 or to S5. You will be good at problem solving, but you will not be good at solving yourself. That's where something else is needed, something beyond intellect. I'm calling that courage in this context. That can be called by other names as well. Are you getting it? Here is the atom. Here is the atom. And my mind is full of anger and hatred towards somebody. The atom stands here in its natural state. Let's say the uranium or plutonium atom. That's the S1 state, right? And in my heart is burning hatred, anger, jealousy, everything. And I don't know where it comes from. It's just there. I'm blind to my insides. I do not know where my desires and motivations are coming from. But I am intellectual. IQ 165. So I'll take the atom and split it. Now the atom has been changed to something else with a great release of energy. S1 has changed to S2. S1 has changed to S2, accompanied by a massive release of energy. I'll call that a solution. S1 has changed to S2 and I'll declare that a solution. Why did S1 have to change to S2 in the first place? Please tell me. Why? Because I was extremely angry, right? And bitter and hateful. Now, this is not something your intellect alone can show you. For this, you need a mirror. You need observation of the self. You need to see where your motivation is coming from. And once you see that, then you may just wonder that what you are calling as a solution is often worse than a problem. Because the solution is just an altered state of the external world, right? A solution is just an altered state of the external world. How do you know that altered state is good for you? To know that, first of all, you must know who you are. If I don't know who I am, I can alter the state of anything to anything and declare it a solution. And that's what we have done. Right? You clear away a jungle and you call that a solution. You say we are urbanizing and this is the solution. We need land. So we cleared away the jungle and we are calling it a solution. And it will look like a solution. If I do not know who I am, then I'll alter the state of this to this and call it a solution. And I'll know how to do that because no animal knows really. The animals have been living in the jungles and you ask them to clear away the jungle, they won't know how. But we have intellect, so we'll know how to clear away a huge patch of land, thousands of hectares. We'll succeed. Intellect is wonderful, but still a very small thing. What you require is an eye that can turn within. So I called it a mirror. Mirror. In this context, that has been called as courage. Why? Because when you look this way, that way, all you see is different things. When you look into the mirror, you look at your own face. And that might often not be very beautiful. That's why it takes courage. It takes courage to look into the mirror. Otherwise, you will think of yourself as a great problem solver without knowing whether what you are proposing is a solution or something worse than the problem. All problems are for somebody. All solutions are for somebody. I drop this, it breaks, and the tea spills. It's a problem for the human beings, this species assembled here. Is it a problem for the bacteria and the ants? Is it a problem? No, it's a celebration. So a problem is a subjective thing. A problem, a situation that you are calling as a problem is a problem only for somebody. Do you see this? Do you see this? Now, that somebody is you. If you're calling a situation as a problem, that somebody is you. If you do not know yourself, how have you declared that situation as a problem? If I do not know myself, how have I declared a particular situation S1 as a problem? And that then totally deflates the problem-solving framework. We pride ourselves on being great problem solvers. That's what technology is supposed to do, no? solve problems using science. That's what technology is. But do we even know where our problems are? Do we even know where our real problems are? Of what use is technology if we are so stupid that we can't even identify problems? Just download the Acharya Prashant app, and there you go to the community section, and you have live testimonials streaming in at the rate of 1 every 5 minutes. I'm seeing lives change in thousands, if not millions, every day in front of my own eyes. We are doing it. We have actually done it.
Join the community of more than 2 lakh participants on the Acharya Prashant app. Your first month is completely free. You'll get full access to Gita Mission. On the app, you will get regular live sessions, daily exclusive conversations with Acharya Prashant, access to the vibrant Gita community, wisdom exams, curated news, audiobooks, quotes, and much more. Search Acharya Prashant on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and download now.